very warm welcome along to Sportsbet TV and to our racing tipping service here. This is Paul Alster with you once again. We're just a week to Christmas and we're looking to try and help pay for some of those Christmas presents. And if past performance is anything to go by, certainly in recent weeks, we've got more than half a chance because once again last week, having in previous weeks tipped 12 to 1 shot Barnard Dawn, and then of course hit the absolute jackpot with York Hill at 66 to 1 a few weeks ago at Newcastle. We did it again. Indeed, all three selections last Saturday ran absolute crackers. But the feature of course was Make Good, who we told you was a horse over from Ireland who looked to have so much going for him, especially going up to the 3 miles, and he absolutely bolted in at Cheltenham under Richard Johnson. 12 to 1, I hope you were on each way. As I've mentioned time and again, so important to bet with bookmakers that if you take a price, they'll give you the SP. We record these messages just before lunchtime Friday, and the markets move a great deal after that, so it's not always easy to predict the way the markets go, never mind try and find the winners. So if you're with a bookmaker that will give you bigger than the odds that I'm suggesting early on, you're going to be very much on the right lines. And Make Good certainly made good for us at 12 to 1. Now, our two other selections last week were Midnight Shadow, who ran an absolute blinder to be second in the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup at 12 to 1 again each way. And we recommended at 12 to 1 taking the odds about Eglantine de Soil, who eventually went off at just 4 to 1. She was a major gamble, even allowing for a couple of non-runners. I thought she was going to win jumping the last. She just got run out of it. But again, if you were on each way, as I was, you'll have made a profit. And as I mentioned last week, I had them in combinations and it proved very profitable indeed. I want to just remind you as well, before I give you our three for this weekend, please press the subscribe button just below this screen. The more people that subscribe, the more chances there are of us maintaining this service and even, who knows, rolling it out to include midweek selections as well. So press the subscribe button and also do us a favour and share this video with your friends as well. So three for you this weekend on Saturday. And once again, we're always looking for horses at decent prices. You're not going to get rich backing favourites, that much we know. So the first of our three selections is over at Ascot, where the going is forecast soft, could even be heavy in places, so stamina is what it's all about in many of the cases. And we begin at 150 with the For the Love of Racing Handicap Chase over 2 miles 3 furlongs, and a fascinating race with many interesting contenders, including Sander Vassi, who won very well at Exeter, Early Delemo for the Moors, who is very much respected. Saint Sonnet, well, he's failed to finish his last two starts, but he was unlucky when he pulled up last time at Cheltenham, having been hampered by a faller. Benny's King, he's interesting, second over course and distance last January in heavy ground, and only £2 higher now for the Skeltons. And Mengley Khan, interesting first start, having left Gordon Elliott in Ireland, and now taking his chance with Nicky Henderson, no less. But there's one I'm really interested in here, and the name of the horse is Drumcliff, trained by Harry Fry, and the mount of the lady amateur jockey, Miss Anya O'Connor. Now, some of you may not know Anya O'Connor, but I'm going to come to her in just a few moments' time. Now, this horse hasn't won for 2.5 years. He last won in May of 2018 when trained by Harry Fry. He won a £25,000 handicap chase at Uttoxeter. And then after that he went to Ireland to Aidan Howard, where things just didn't go well for him. Ran 3 times, ran poorly there. Then he returned to Harry Fry and had a wind surgery. And he's had 5 runs so far since that wind surgery. And in total has come down £9 to what I believe is now a winning mark. Now, he didn't run overly well on his first 2 starts back, but then he was third at Fontwell in October. And that was a run that suggested the ability is still there. Now, last time out, they put the cheek pieces on for the first time, and it was here at Ascot, and it was in a good race, and he ran an absolute cracker, came there strongly, just was run out of it in a close finish where they had to bypass the last race, which last fence, which didn't help him, and he finished a close third to Espoir de Guy. He's gone up a pound for that. So he's now running off a mark which really he should be able to do a lot of damage off. Now, he likes Ascot, that much we know, because on his only run prior to the effort last time out, he won by 12 lengths in a handicap, and on that occasion he was ridden by the Irish amateur jockey Miss Anya O'Connor. Now, if you don't know Anya O'Connor, she is a tremendous jockey. You know, she's right up there in the mould of Rachel Blackmore and Nina Carberry and Katie Walsh. She is tremendous. And she's coming over from Ireland just for the one ride. Now, I don't know what the corona rules are as regards Ireland and visiting England, but I suspect that she may well have to go into some sort of solitary after visiting Britain for this ride on Drumcliff. And I think the fact that she's coming over for the one ride in itself is very significant. Now, when you tie this in with the fact that trainer Harry Fry is in great form with a 33% strike rate, 1 in 3 winners of late, and he's got a 25% strike rate around Ascot, which is excellent. Then on top of that, Anya O'Connor, when she's come to Britain, now listen to this, 13 winners from just 44 rides, and that's a 30% strike rate. Then, when you tie the two of them in together, Harry Fry, when he's booked Anya O'Connor, amazingly, she's won 10 times from 39 rides, that's 26%, and over fences riding those horses for Harry Fry, well, it's a 1 in 3 strike rate. 4 winners from 12 rides over fences in Britain for Harry Fry, for Anya O'Connor. So really, she should be about a 5-2 chance, 2-1 chance to be winning on the Drumcliff, but he's offered at 10-1 each way with Bet365 at the time of this recording, and I think that is great value. He'll love the ground, he's off a great mark. Anya O'Connor's coming over especially from Ireland for this one ride, and she may well have to go into isolation afterwards for Christmas after that. So I think the tips should be taken, and I'll be really surprised if he doesn't run a big race. There could be money for him, you never know, it's so hard to predict the markets, but 10-1 is a fair price, and if you're with those bookmakers that offer you the SP if it's bigger, then you're on a bet to nothing for a start. So that is Drumcliff in the 150 race at Ascot each way at 10-1. Now at Ascot, 3 o'clock on Saturday, another tremendous race, the Silver Cup Handicap Chase, a race that good old Regal Encore, who'll be 13 years old in a couple of weeks' time. He's won this twice in the past, and he's a standing dish here. He always goes well, just about always goes well here, and he's very much respected. Espoir de Guy, who beat Drumcliff last time, he's back going up to 3 miles, up £6 for Venetia Williams. Caranta's interesting, won really bravely over the course and distance last time, up £5 for John Joe O'Neill Jr. and Senior. Now the conditional may well go off favourite. He's a fascinating horse. Superb third in what I still call the Hennessy, the Ladbroke Trophy at Newbury. And he also won the Ultima Chase at the Cheltenham Festival in March. But I just have a feeling this horse is better going left-handed, even though his only win in Ireland came right-handed at Thurles. But I think he's a better horse going left-handed, and for that I oppose him. I very nearly tipped you Flying Angel here, who I think, although he's never won at the trip, he's got the ground, and I thought he stuck on really well at Aintree over the Grand National fences not so long ago. But eventually I've come down on the side of the top weight. Beware the Bear. Beware the Bear, trained by Nicky Henderson and the mount of Jeremiah McGrath. Now this is a horse who stays really well, and significantly he loves soft ground, and he hasn't seen much genuinely soft ground for quite a while. He was a superb 5th to Cloth Cap in the Ladbroke Trophy at Newbury in November. That was his first start of the season, and remember, in that very race he's been 4th the previous 2 years, so he's got a tremendous record in top handicap chases. Now the last time he had genuinely soft ground, he gave £7 and a beating to the very useful Vintage Clouds, and that was in the Ultima Handicap Chase of 2019 at the Cheltenham Festival over 3¼ miles. So he stays well, he loves soft ground, and he's been running of late. Even the run in the Ladbroke Trophy in November was on good ground, which would have been a little bit too quick for him really, and he was sticking on really well at the end. You just take a look at the video. Now, he's only had the one run at Ascot in the past, and that was in November 2016, a 3-mile handicap chase, and he won it easily. So he's got a very good, perfect record at Ascot. He's got the ground, he's with a top trainer. Jerry McGrath gets on tremendously well with him, and at the time of this recording he's 12 to 1 offered each way. That's with Bet365, Bet Victor, Betway, Boyle Sports and Betfred, and you may well find some of them offering 4 places as well. So take a look at that. I think Beware the Bear, despite top weight, he's finally got his ground, and I think he'll be all the better for that run in what was the Hennessy Gold Cup last time out when he was an excellent 5th. So he's my second each way selection of the day. Now then, to the third selection, and this is a very, very interesting horse. This is at Ascot in the final race, the 3:35, the Grade 3 Handicap Hurdle, big prize money. Significantly, this race is over a little short of 2 miles, so it's essentially quite a sharp 2 miles, even though at Ascot, of course, you need to stay because you've got the uphill finish, and we're talking about soft ground. Now, there's plenty of horses here with chances, and a few of them I'm sure have been laid out specifically for this race. Buzz was hugely impressive over course and distance last time out in lower grade. He really did run very well indeed there, but he's gone up £11, and I think he'll do well to defy that rise. Benson is on a 4-timer. Arrivederci, well, he was unlucky when he came down at Haydock when going well last time out, and I do think Malaya is going to go well for Paul Nicholls. But there's a horse here that really interests me, and as regular followers will know, I'm very much involved in broadcasting and following Irish racing, and there's a horse here coming over from Ireland called Belfast Banter. Actually, he was initially trained by Dan Skelton, but he's been out in Ireland for a long time. Belfast Banter, he's trained by Peter Farhi, and there's the mount of Kevin Sexton. Now, I just think he's been laid out for this race. I think this has been what they've been looking at all the way. This horse only just stays 2 miles, and he's a tricky ride. You may remember Archibald that Paul Carberry used to ride, who had to be held on to until the very last minute, and if he hit the front, no matter what he was up against, a champion hurdler or a cart horse, he could very often just not go through with it and not win the races. Well, this is no Archibald Belfast Banter. He's not as good as that, but it's a similar type of horse. Now, he did win at Galway on his penultimate start. Looked like he was going to win easy in a maiden hurdle. On he went, but as soon as he hit the front, he started hitting the brakes, and he only just scrambled home in the end. Then, same story again at Punchestown last time, but on that occasion he finished second. And I'm sure if Sexton could have ridden him again, he would have waited and waited to make his challenge as late as possible. Now, the remarkable thing about this horse, even though he's had loads of races, he's never ever run in a handicap. He's only ever run in novice hurdles and maiden hurdles. And amazingly, if you're going to run a horse first time in a handicap, surely you'd think you'd look to find his level and run him locally in a handicap or a small race. Would you send him all the way from Ireland just before Christmas, when you're probably going to have to go into isolation, and run him in a handicap for the first time at Ascot in a race worth a lot of money against hot horses? Well, that's what they're doing. And I think that they know they've got the horse on the right mark, and if they get the tactics right, he's got the ground, and if they can hold on to him until after the last, hopefully halfway up the running, and then if he's still there, let him go and see if he can go by. I think Belfast Banter could go so well at really very good odds. And Peter Farhi has a 7 from 30 record when he sends horses over to Britain. That's 23%, and you may remember Peregrine Run, which has done very well and won a Grade 2 at Cheltenham for him. Kevin Sexton very rarely comes to Britain. I think this will only be his 4th ever ride on British soil, so this to me looks like a bit of a plot. So we know he's going to be produced late. Hopefully he'll go really well. 16 to 1 is available with a number of firms, but there's only one firm who are offering for 6 places, and that is William Hills. So if you can get on the each way, 16 to 1 for 6 places with William Hills, I think that Belfast Banter is going to run a mighty race. If he drifts, make sure, of course, beforehand, make sure that you're with a bookmaker who's going to pay you the SP if it's bigger. So those are my 3 for you for Saturday. Drumcliff, Beware the Bear, and Belfast Banter, all at double figure odds each way, all at Ascot. And I hope they go really well and they can help us get a little bit more money in the fund for Christmas, and we can continue this tremendous winning run. Remember to press the subscribe button. Remember to share this with all your friends, and if we build up the audience, we may well go to a couple of bulletins a week at some point next year. So that's it from me, Paul Alster, for this weekend. Enjoy your racing, look after yourselves, and we'll be back with next bulletin coming up for the big meeting on Boxing Day across Britain. But bye-bye for now. Let's hope we get some winners once again.